One of my proudest moments. Welcome along. How are we doing? Nice to see you, or you to see me. This vlog is going to be about Yes Future's Into the Wild 3-day weekend review. Let's go. So, January, and it's freezing. I've got to go on a 3-day weekend with loads of kids and loads of people. Yeah, these were brand new before I went, and it was cold. It was really, really cold. It was actually, I think, from like 4 degrees down to like -2 some days. I wanted to do this quick review about Yes Futures and Into the Wild. If you saw my last vlog, part 1 of the Yes Futures, I'll link it below, have a watch. That's sort of the starting of it back in October 2018, last year. So it's currently the end of January. I've just been on a 3-day weekend with all the kids from all different types of schools. I really wanted to do this vlog to make aware that if you're looking to do something similar to this, where you're working for a charity, you're volunteering, it's not a huge amount of commitment in terms of hours and days. The weekends that I went on and how powerful it can be to young kids. I know I say this a lot, but it is really a powerful thing. So, Into the Wild, Friday morning, get to Marylebone School where my kids are. Got a coach ride down to Swindon. It's about an hour and a half. Obviously, you can imagine you've got 13 kids on this coach. There was obviously different schools coming from different areas as well, which were all coming to the same place in Swindon. PGL, big shout to you. The staff are amazing there, by the way. It's all about team building, it's all about activities, it's all about getting the students out of their comfort zones, building their confidence, building their resilience and self-awareness and communication skills. If you didn't know, they're the 4 pillars of the talent toolbox of Yes Futures. Got that. And it's all about putting kids out of their comfort zone, putting them in different groups, letting them meet different kids and different people. All of a sudden, they're finding a way to work together, they're finding a way to break through some confidences. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. What I was group leader of a group of 8 kids, so I had to sort of work with them the whole weekend as a coach, and obviously leading them and looking after them for the whole weekend. Now, this is not easy, this is very difficult. I mean, you're doing 12, 14-hour days. You're having to wake them up in the mornings, you're having to put them to sleep, make sure they're going to sleep, make sure they're not messing around. You can imagine kids will get quite excited, obviously when they've got downtime and stuff like that. I had 8 kids, none of them really knew each other. I think a couple of them were from the same schools. And imagine the first time I sat down with them, I'd never done this before, and I sat down with the 8 of them. It was almost like we had to do some sort of icebreakers, and let me tell you, it was awkward. You've got kids 11, 12, 13 years old, and one of them was 14. You're putting them all in a group and trying to get them to communicate each other, trying to do icebreakers, very difficult. Anyway, big shout out to Yes Futures because they had a lot planned. They had a lot of things that would integrate the kids together, that would get them working together and gelling as a group really, and team players. So we did loads of different activities. A couple of the activities which I really want to sort of point out, where some of the kids were breaking massive fears. One of them, I'll give you an example, we were going on the zip wire. He's never been on a zip wire before. He's massively afraid of heights, and I was just like, go up there, see how you feel. There's obviously no pressure to do anything. It's at their own pace, but ultimately we want to try and get them to go past that. He goes up to the top of the tower. He's standing there, and I'm like watching up, and I'm like, what's he doing? He's been up there for about 10 minutes. He's all strapped in, he's ready to go, and he's standing right on the ledge, and I'm thinking, what's he doing? Why is he not coming down? And then next thing I know, so I see him coming down the tower, I run over to him, I said, yo, you alright mate? And he was just like, he was crying his eyes out, like his face was all red, he couldn't breathe, he literally couldn't, like, his stomach was hurting. I said, what happened? He was like, I just couldn't do it, It was just, I said, oh, why not? And he was like, it's just too high. I was just like, I said, well, what would happen if you did go? He goes, oh, fall off. And ultimately, you're strapped in, you know, it's tight, you've got 3 safety ropes, and you're not going to go anywhere. So I was like, look, take a seat. I went and sat down for about 20 minutes, and then I said to him, look, I'm going to go up, I'm going to do the zip wire, I'm going to come back down, I'm going to see how you feel. So I went up there, did the zip wire, come down to the bottom. As soon as I got off, he walked back up to me, and he said, all right, I'm ready to go back up now, would you come with me? Absolutely. Went back up there with him. As he was going up the steps, he was just like, he couldn't get up the steps. That was how bad he was. He started going again, he started crying, his stomach started going. I said, look, just take it step by step. A little bit of progress goes a long way. Anyway, so we got to the top, got him strapped in eventually, and then there's about 5 minutes later, he was still sort of really, he looked like he was in a lot of pain. And I was just like, look, how about you just lean back a little bit, sit back, and just look forward. Don't look down, just look forward. And he was just like, oh, actually, that's all right. He's like, push me. So I literally just give him a shove. He was off. I run back down to make sure I got him before he could come back down. I said, how do you feel? He was like, oh, that's amazing. He goes, thank you so much. Gave me a big hug. How do you feel about breaking your fear now? Do you feel you can break fears later on in life about other stuff that you might have? Like, yeah, absolutely. He goes, I'm still scared, but it was amazing. I was just like, breakthrough. So that's just one example. You sort of see some kids that there was quite a few introverted, socially awkward introverted kids there in my group, and then you've got the loud ones that are very, very boisterous and, you know, shouting and screaming and getting involved. By the second day, they had almost had like a breakthrough between all themselves, because they were all literally starting to work together as a team. We did a problem-solving exercise where they had to walk across this rope. They couldn't speak to each other, and it was the oldest at one end, the youngest at the other end. Obviously, I was the oldest and I was at the youngest end, so I had to go all the way to the other end. But I couldn't speak to anyone, so you have to sort of hold on to people. You always have to have one foot on the rope and then move your other foot and try and get round without having both feet off the rope. And without having to speak to someone, you can imagine how hard it is when you've got all these kids going in different directions. All of a sudden, they started really bonding. This is amazing. Like, these kids, when I first met them, didn't even want to speak to each other, didn't even want to speak to me. All of a sudden, they're proper getting involved. Since sort of Saturday lunchtime, Saturday afternoon, they were all literally just getting along with each other. And then we did Jacob's Ladders. All the kids were super, super excited about that. So the Jacob's Ladders, it's like a big wooden frame, and you've got ladders in between, and you have to go, it's quite high. There was two of the girls in my group, and they were literally helping each other up, and one would go, the other one would motivate the other one, shout down to the other one, say, come on, please up. These two did not click really when they first started. They were at each other's throats, and then all of a sudden, this one up here is helping this one get up. She gets up, and then all of a sudden she's like, come on, get up, you can do it. Like, they were motivating each other. That is a blessed thing. Never thought that would happen. At the start of it, you're just like, how am I going to get through this whole weekend? But then you just literally leave them to their own devices, and that's part of like what Yes Futures do. They're getting the kids to integrate with each other. They're getting them to help each other and do stuff they wouldn't normally do. And then we got down to the Saturday was a long day. So yeah, just want to say big shout out to all the coaches. We went down for a couple of beers after on the Saturday, which was lovely. It was good to get to know the other coaches. We're all in the same position, all from different backgrounds, different ages, different races. And it was a great thing to have everyone that's sort of like-minded. I always say this thing, surround yourself with like-minded people. It's a powerful thing. On the Sunday, Sunday was a shorter day. I had to wake the kids up and stuff, which was great. And then you could imagine they spent Friday, Saturday, all day together, bonding, team building, problem solving. Also, on the Friday, the 8 kids had to partner with each other. So granted, they're going to partner with the people they know, or they know of. I really wanted them to go with different people. So the Sunday, we had another activity, fencing. They all absolutely loved it. The fencing instructor said to them, can you all pair up? I just literally did not say anything. Compared to the Friday, where they all wanted to go with people they knew, I sat back and I just let them choose their own partners. And guess what? One of my proudest moments, they all picked someone different than who they came with. Just saying. I didn't do that. I facilitated that as a coach, but I didn't do that. They chose different people. So you can see from the Friday to Sunday how much they've grown, how much they've learned, how much they've bonded, how much they've come together as a team. It was an amazing thing to see. Probably the most emotional part of the weekend. Sarah said, right, if anyone wants to make a shout out, please stand up. Next thing I know, I've got 2 out of my group. First one was one of mine. First thing she said was, I just really wanted to thank Sanjay for pushing me this weekend, being there for me. She said it and she looked at me when she did it. It kind of makes it worth it. You haven't had any of that. All you're doing is keep pushing. You actually have like a breakthrough. For that, it kind of made this whole program, not just this weekend, but this whole program worth it. And she's not even one of my students at my school. I only met her on Friday. Next one stands up. I just wanted to thank Sanjay, Hannah and Annika for helping me get through this weekend. It's been a great time and I've really boosted my confidence. I'm not gonna lie to you, it does make it so worth it. And I know they say it's rewarding. If that's not rewarding, I don't know what is. Even though it was hard, it was difficult, it was long hours, it was tiring, it was massively motivating, massively pushing me out of my comfort zone for having 8 kids I've never met before, but ultimately one of the most rewarding things I've ever done to date in my life. Am I going to do it again? Stupid question. Of course I'm going to do it again. I've already signed up for the March program. This whole program is by no means easy. If you wanted to do something easy and voluntarily, it's not easy. That's my review. Into the wild, in a hole, amazing weekend, amazing people, amazing coaches, amazing staff at Yes Futures, all shared massively inspiring stories. When you're having like one-to-one conversations with kids as well, they're telling you about their life, they're telling you about their story. You don't really know them, and all of a sudden they're talking to you like they're your best friend. It's a special thing. If anyone anyone says that's different, fine. I mean, I speak to people about, you know, oh yeah, you're doing this Yes Futures thing, like this kids charity. I was like, yeah. What's it like? You get to literally open up kids' minds to a whole new world I didn't have when I was younger. That's the blessed thing about it. I never had that when I was younger. To have that now, me being able to give that to the students is a special thing. So yeah, 100% doing round 2 before my big trip. If you didn't see my announcement, I'll link it below. Have a watch of that. I've got time to do one more program, so of course I'm fully in and I can't wait. In terms of Into the Wild, when I went into it, I did not think it was going to be anything like I thought. I didn't even know I was going to get picked as a group leader. I thought I was just going to be there as another coach helping, but no, I was sort of fully in charge. So when you look at it from a personal development aspect, for me and for the kids, it's a win-win. Also, before I forget, big shout out to Tom. Tom has been on this program with me. He's done a few programs before me. I think we work really well together. He can be quite loud and demanding and get stuff where I don't really shout and stuff. He shouted really loud at one point of the weekend and I actually got a bit scared by it. I'm not gonna lie, it was loud. Big shout to you, Tom. I'll see you on the next program, hopefully. Also, I got a thank you card from Yes Futures. I just wanted to read it out to you. Also, big shout out to Sophie and Rebecca. These 2 girls who work for Yes Futures work super hard. Fair play to you. I don't know how you do it, but you're doing well. A big thank you for all your energy and enthusiasm this weekend. It's been great to see you getting so stuck in with all the kids. I hope you've enjoyed seeing your Marylebone boys do themselves proud. Have a great first Into the Wild experience from Sophie, Sarah, Annika, Shireen, Rebecca, Hannah, Emma and Natalie. Big shout out to you girls. You smashed it. You've done very well. Thank you for that. Appreciate it, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.